the landscape of jobs in the future is going to be completely different because
Yeah.
all these like manual jobs that we needed in the past, we're not going to need them anymore. Welcome back to Filling You In. I'm Coco, and with me is my co-host Subash, and today we've got a great episode for you.
We do have a pretty interesting one today here. I think before we get into it, we have something quickly to address, and that's our schedule, and that's our uploading. This is partial. There's so many variables that go into using the space and everything. This kid decided to do tennis this year.
Okay, hold
which
up.
kind of
Go
cucked
ahead.
our entire
Non-stop.
operation, partially. But it doesn't matter. There's another event happening in here that's going to be taking up some time in the space, but no matter what, we'll get it to work. But we're here today, and we're here live and recording. Today we're going to be talking about future jobs and things that we're doing now that could potentially help our future jobs and what we want to do in the future as in a career in an industry. I think that especially with college kind of coming around the corner for both of us, even though we're still sophomores in high school, it's still a very relevant topic, and it's definitely kind of more recently come to the table.
Yeah, I mean that's I don't know if I think people have just been asking it for like your entire life, even when you're little, like even in your kindergarten.
For sure. College is always, especially I think just the way that we were raised in our families, and especially being at the school we are, because we're at a college preparatory, kind of the way the school is oriented.
Yeah.
So, and both of our families are very enthusiastic, or at least mine is, about college and has talked about it.
Yeah,
Is yours kind of?
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
But if you go to the school, you're kind of expected to be going to college.
Of course. I agree.
Yeah.
So the first question we're going to ask here is what we're doing right now and how the things that we're doing now could what they mean to us and how they could affect our future. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, you have a lot of extracurricular activities as well as in-school academic strengths, right? Whatever, writing,
sure.
Writing, reading. You're better at X reading than math.
X, Y, and Z.
Facts.
Sure.
What right now is something that you're doing out of school anywhere that could have a strong and viable position in your future?
You mean what am I doing now that may affect my future? Is
Is there something you're doing right now that could take you further?
Well, look at the podcast.
Yeah.
We're kind of doing it here right now,
Okay. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. But what else? There's got to be something else you're doing.
What am I doing? I can come up with ideas easy, but whether or not you can execute them is completely different.
Oh my God. I send my friends all these ridiculously complicated and massive ideas that we have, or that I have. But if you think about them logistically, they're kind of hard to execute. This being one of them, but we're here and we did it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about, but it always comes back to the execution of it, and it's
sure.
You can be doing this like this project, we're doing it, and it's hard work, and
this is not as easy.
And it's like, how do we do multiple things at once is the question, and if we want to get all these things done, how are we able to do that? Who do we delegate to? Who do we recruit on the team and things like that? And so I don't know. Yeah. It's really just a balance. But other than the podcast, I think I do a couple things here and there, clubs and things like that. But I don't think anything too major. I think when I have an idea that I think is nuts and I think I'm really interested in, I think I'll go for it.
For sure.
And projects like that. What about you?
Right now, like you said, I think that if we play our cards right, which I think we are right now, and we keep doing what we're doing, we could go somewhere with this. But also, I don't know. I've always been kind of interested in the whole idea of how you get things out to people and market products and market anything really. I just like the idea that some kind of message or some kind of anything could go out to the public and that can translate into money. That idea just really interests me. So marketing, creative marketing, figuring out new ways to get people to interact with things is something that's intriguing to me.
Yeah, looking back to the question, it's what are you doing now that may? Oh, sorry. Did you answer that by saying the podcast?
Yeah, I said I think the podcast will take me further.
Got it.
But
Got it.
that's because actually I did kind of go on a little bit of a tangent there, but I think that the marketing part ties into what I'm doing right now, just how we're getting this podcast out to people. And speaking of that, if you guys are wherever you're listening, tap in, notifications, subscribe, whatever, to make sure you guys keep hearing these episodes when they come out. But I don't know. I mean, I've dabbled into social media like marketing, especially since that's probably the biggest way to get things out to people right now,
Yeah.
especially our generation. So I don't know. That's something I'm definitely interested in.
Yeah. I mean, what would you say is your preferred like industry you want to work in?
Oh, that's interesting. I can tell you what I don't want to work in. I don't want to work in an industry that's boring and basic because
I don't know. I'm just saying that's a boring, or not boring, but
okay, well,
basic answer.
things are only boring if you make them boring. But I mean, like like standard things that don't excite me. I want my industry that I want to go in. I want it to excite me. The music industry is definitely something that's really interesting. I mean, that there's a lot of different things, but really creative options.
Yeah. So the music industry is what you want to go into?
It's a potential option, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, what did you want to do when you grow up? Like, well, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Just kind of answered that.
No, I know, but that was the industry. It's like,
Oh, like what do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, marketing things getting out. And I don't want to be like that stereotypical guy who sits behind the desk 9 to 5 and is on a computer answering calls, telling people to like do stuff.
Yeah.
I want to be innovating. I want to be when people like think of something that's really cool that's never been done before, I want to be that guy behind it. And I think that the really awesome thing about the music industry is that right now, the music industry is in the biggest turning point it's ever been in, and a lot of people don't see it or realize it. But if I can't wait to see 20 years ahead what's going to be the music industry.
Yeah.
For artists, for labels, for promoters, for shows. Especially this pandemic is going to change and already has changed the way we're doing shows and live performances. So I think it's a really great industry to be thinking about.
I mean, what was one thing that you like you wanted to be, but then you realized like, no.
Probably a rapper, a musician. No. I mean, I think it was definitely something that I don't regret. Like if I go back and listen to my music now, I'm like, what was that? And even if I made stuff like a year ago, obviously we all grow and change. But I think that moment of my life where I was making a lot of music really opened my eyes to things I didn't know about, even if what I was making isn't something I necessarily would show to people's faces now. Back then, I remember the confidence I had in what I was doing, and I don't know, that kind of that was a really big part of my life, honestly, so far. In that kind of area, it would probably be that. But when I say the music industry, I mean like more like kind of behind the scenes type of stuff, not as an actual like artist.
Yeah. I think for me it was like I've always like wanted to be in like some sort of like industry regarding to business. I don't know like where that'd be, but then I think it was like last year or 1 or 2 years ago when I was like, you know what, I want to be an environmental scientist.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm taking this super awesome class. I'm learning about all these things. I think this is going to be the future of the world because we only got like one like actual planet we know we can actually live on. And so if we're not
what is that?
Earth.
Oh,
Earth.
I thought you meant one other. My bad. Sorry.
No. And so if we don't take care of it, and if
Yeah.
someone's gonna have to take care of it and find the solutions to the problems that we have, and I'm just like, that's probably gonna be one of the biggest industries in the future.
Yeah.
Things like artificial meat is just like one thing. And I took chemistry,
But you dropped out.
and I took chemistry this year, and I was like, within 2 classes, like, yeah, no, 1, I'm dropping this class, and 2, I'm not doing chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of school actually, chemistry. Yeah, I'm not really interested in that. I'll hire someone that went to school for like 7 years
To help
and
you
knows
do
all
what
this
you-
chemistry
yeah.
stuff, but I don't want to actually go to the school and
Yeah.
do that because
Yeah.
that's not how my mind works, and especially in chemistry, that's not my thing.
I agree with you. I think a lot of times when I tell people I don't like math, and then after that I say what industry I want to be in. This is in the past or present, just in general, especially with marketing. There's a lot of numbers. I'm like, I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna have to do the numbers. I'm gonna pay someone to do the numbers, and I'm gonna do the fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. It's like, well, why do I have to do projects solo, right? I mean, we got different strengths, different weaknesses, and so your hope would be that your team would cover your weaknesses, and your strengths can cover their weaknesses, and that's how it works the best.
Yeah, for sure. I think things with a team are
Easier. They're easier.
And I think especially with the way I've kind of learned in school, it's like we do a lot of team-based kind of projects too. And I think that's really to promote and encourage the idea in the future of actually working in industries as a team rather than as solo people. If you look at because obviously there's really prime leaders right now, like CEOs, and when you think of a specific product or an idea, you tie it back to them, but they root from massive teams. And if you have a really if you have an Avengers for your industry, if you are the if you have if you have a bunch of, you know what I'm trying to
You mean people?
If you have Avengers, if you are the Avengers in your industry, you're gonna win.
I mean, I don't know.
They lost in the movies.
Yeah,
though.
I mean, I make that reference all the time. It's like if you have a group of individually super talented people, and you can bring them together in a group,
you'll win.
That they're called the Avengers.
You'll win.
You'll win, and nobody else can compete with you because alone you're strong, but together you're stronger. And I mean,
that's why I like to kind of focus on rounding myself out. But if there's something that I know I'm really I know what I'm doing, I can nail this down, I know I'm good at it, I'm gonna get really good at that one thing because there's gonna be someone out there, or I'm gonna be that someone, and there's gonna be a missing piece to the puzzle, and I'm gonna be that piece because I focused on that one specific thing.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so interesting because what we want to do is sort of the same, I guess, but sort of different. You want to go into the music industry. I'm more into, business.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much the same because business is really in everything. But what if
I'm not singling myself out. That's just a potential idea.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is what are your parents have they carved out a path for you?
Yeah, we've talked about it. One thing for sure is I'm not going to join my family business. On my mother's side of the family, just because it's just something I'm really not interested in. It's just I don't want to say it because then they could track me down and kill me.
Yeah.
But it's just something I'm not interested in. It's not something I'm passionate about. It's not something I'd feel necessarily happy in doing. Sure, I'm contributing to a family legacy kind of thing, but I really don't want to spend my years here at this school and have my parents spending a lot of money for me to go into a job that I wouldn't honestly be really happy in. They don't really my parents haven't told me we want you to be this, we want you to be that. They've brought things up to me, not in a wanting way, but hey, look at this kind of industry or this. But I think they trust that I'm gonna make a really smart decision, or the best decision for me as far as my career in the future goes.
What's interesting to me is and someone clip this, you're gonna be in that family business. I know you will be. Because I consume a lot of content, and I watch and I see a lot of business people and things like that, and maybe they didn't want to be in their family business,
but they ended up.
But I mean, things just happen, and it's someone gets sick, and now you need to fill in the role, or you're just drawn back to home, and now you just happen to be, you started off maybe doing content stuff or maybe doing something else, but now you're in, and I really think that's what's gonna happen. I think maybe you'll go off and you'll be doing some awesome things, but then I think you're gonna find your way back because I mean, especially living in Hawaii, people always find their way back because I mean it's such a special place.
It's weird, and it's weird how it happens too.
Yeah,
the way people come back. I don't know. I think I'm not gonna single myself out, and even though I already did kind of earlier and say I wasn't gonna join my family's business, but it's just something that really is just right now. It's something that's just not interesting to me. Like I said earlier, especially with my music and me doing music, I change as a person, and the way I want to lead my future changes entirely over time. So in 20 years, I might think back to this and be like, wow, that was a really I really like to do it.
I mean, I think similarly to you, my parents really never forced me to be anything. And so for that, I'm lucky. And I think really they asked me what do you want to do? And when I tell them, they'll do whatever they can to support me to, be able to do that, connect me with whoever and give me the opportunities and things like that. And so I think we're both blessed in that sense.
Yeah, we're definitely very lucky in that area.
Yeah.
Of support too. There's definitely a lot of people out there that don't have that kind of level of support. there's people, and if you look at a lot of like big people in industries right now, especially ones that weren't thought to be successful in the past, like
entrepreneurship.
Exactly. Parents didn't really support them in that area.
Yeah.
But they made it. So I mean, if you're out there and your parents want you to be a doctor, lawyer, or whatever, a standard job, and you really want to, start your own business to go into an industry that's not popular, it's not impossible. It's very possible. You just have to jump over a few more hurdles than maybe some other people do.
What's so interesting to me is, like, I talked to my mom and dad about this, and they tell me it's like the landscape of jobs in the future is going to be completely different because all these like manual jobs that we needed in the past, we're not going to need them anymore.
Mm-hmm. I think a prime example of that is like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. What was the reason that Charlie's dad got put out of work?
The machine.
The machine took his job of putting toothpaste caps back on his toothpaste bottle.
I mean, like, same with that with like McDonald's. Once they have those kiosks, what do you need the humans for?
I don't think we're gonna have human McDonald's.
Yeah.
I don't think we will. I really don't think.
I think give it 5 years and most of them are like the humans are pretty much gonna be gone. I mean, same with like how hard is it to make a Starbucks drink? You know?
Oh.
Like machines could do that already.
They can do it already. It's just not a mainstream thing.
Yeah.
Machines and everything that we think in our heads is very futuristic. It already exists, but people are thinking of ways to mainstream realize it.
Yeah, and
everywhere. There's a lot. College is an interesting thing when it comes to connections and the ones you can make, especially if you're going to a college where there's a lot of other innovative people like you, and that's where you can, like we said, build a team.
Yeah.
If there's someone there and you two have a great idea, right? You could go far with a team.
Yeah, I mean, you can assemble the Avengers in college.
Facts.
Just saying.
Facts.
I mean, we could even do it here at the school.
We could do it.
What?
Us.
Oh. That's funny. It's so hard to assemble a team, especially in school.
Yeah, in school.
Because
hard.
I mean, everybody's got their own like extracurriculars. I think when we get older, it'll be way easier.
Oh, it'll be so much easier.
Way easier.
So much easier. It'll be so much easier.
Like, gosh.
All the problems I can think of right now: sports, homework, trying to get somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many it's like you and I have a whole bunch of other friends that are like, I want you on my team for these different things, and I want to call you up, but I know you're busy.
Yeah.
Like, I have this one friend, super smart, super capable guy. This dude just does basketball. I mean, he just does basketball, and so I can't ever get him for anything. And it's like, dude, you just had practice. Like,
shout out to him.
4 times.
If we know you're listening, shout out to him.
Yeah.
And we there's more than one people who've asked to help with this project, not because they believe in it and like they think it's a good project, and it is. Like, there's a lot of things that we think people could cover here, but there's multiple things that we want in a team. The first thing is you have to be able to do something we can't. Like,
or do it better.
Or do it better.
Yeah.
And everything that we're doing now, I haven't found anyone that can do this better than me. And everything that you've done, I can't think of anyone that would do this better than you.
Gosh, I don't want to gloat. But I mean, it's the saying goes: is it bragging if it's true? You know?
It is what it is. It's just like we have our own ways of liking to do things, and if we feel like there's no need to fill a place or no need for someone to fill our place, we don't fill them in. We don't fill the role in.
I mean, and if we can't fill them in, then I mean.
Anyway, but yeah, I think I agree with the whole team thing. I kind of touched into it a little bit. I think college is interesting, but this is a really big question, and you definitely talked about it earlier. For your whole business thing, do you think that you can do it here? Do you want to do it here? And if so, and if not, where? What's your ideal location to blossom into the flower that you want to be as an adult?
Well, I mean, that's an interesting question because it's like business is such a broad topic, industry. And so, I mean, I think recently I got interested in like movie business, you know?
Yes.
Like things like that.
Yes.
And so it's like, well, I mean, you have to kind of be in LA, right? Because LA is the prime spot.
Hollywood.
And so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would love to live here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like after it's all said and done, I'd love to live here. And if I'm able to be here most of the time and still be able to make a living, a good living, a really good living,
really good living,
then I mean, I would love to be here because There's no place like it.
Here?
Hawaii.
Yeah.
No place like it.
Sorry, I was confused for that.
No. The other. No, I'm just kidding.
LA or here. I agree with you, but for me, it's different. Except, I think I'll come back here when I'm older.
Yeah.
Or maybe even just to raise kids, because we talked about before. Hawaii's a great place to raise your kids, but I just don't see myself where I want to be in a creative industry here. The mainland, LA, New York, Chicago, wherever it is, like major cities, it's just so much easier to do things there than here. Because we're in the middle of the ocean, but like I think it's just everything's smaller here. It's really nice. I think it's nice to live your life here, but if you really want to go far in your career, at least where I want to be, I think the mainland and being, in a major city is really where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think you can definitely make it here, but it's just way harder.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not saying you can.
it's different. It's so different from the mainland. Like it's like how China and the U.S. are way different. Like in China, they can get these like vaccination centers up in like a week.
Facts.
And then Hawaii and not even Hawaii,
there's also the government has different regulations.
But also like the U.S. I mean, like takes months.
Correct. It's different. It's a different environment.
Super different.
And you can relate that to here in the mainland as well.
And I mean, that's just how it works. In Hawaii, things move a little bit slower.
It's harder. It's hard to break that.
Like,
there's no way to replace that difference.
And I think for certain industries, you cannot be in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You can't.
No, you can't.
But I mean, in other industries, like there's a pretty good amount.
Oh yeah. There's a decent amount. And if you guys, we did talk a lot about living in Hawaii versus living on the mainland. We do have an episode on living in Hawaii. If you guys are kind of more interested in that, especially if you guys live out in the mainland, or we call it the mainland, but the United States, the major United States connected. Actually, we are a major United States. There's no major United State. If you guys live out in, the mainland, if you want to hear more about living in Hawaii, go listen to that episode because it's a pretty interesting one.
Yeah.
Before we were in person, but I think we talked on a lot of really good points on that one.
I mean, I guess the question is, how do you get there, right? How do we get to these
How do you get
places?
there? Don't quit. I mean, that's super cliche. But don't quit. If with this, I really want to go far with this. Yeah. I think we can and we will.
Yeah.
But the main thing is we have to pull each other through the difficulties, and I think that's why it's hard, especially with me when I'm doing things on my own, especially music and things in the past. I get discouraged and I'm like, this is stupid. And not judgment, it's just this is stupid, I don't think I can go farther with it.
Yeah.
I lock myself in my own mind, but when we have two minds we can go farther. I think just keep pushing at what you're doing and getting better and mastering your craft.
Yeah, I mean, I think before you can determine how you're going to get somewhere, you have to determine whether or not you really want to go there.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're young and we can change our career options whenever we want, pretty much. But up until a certain point, when we hit a certain point, it's going to be harder. You have to lock it down.
Yeah.
And now it's time for game plan.
If you guys are in high school right now or middle school, any lower school before college, now's the best time to figure out what you like. Don't let people judge you for what you want to do. That's literally how you fail, by letting people get in your head. There's a difference between constructive criticism and people who are literally just being mean for no reason at all, or just for the fact that they don't like you. Doesn't literally. It's the stupidest thing. It's
just sounds like bro's been holding this in for 5 years, bro. They're just hating because they don't like me.
No, but it's true. It's true. That's what I'm trying to say is it's do what you want to do now before it's too late. If you're in a real estate career and you're like, wow, the movie and TV show industry is really, wow, I want to be a promoter for concerts. You already have a degree. You're too far gone.
It's not a degree, it's a license.
You know what I'm trying to say. It's too far. You're too far gone.
Yeah.
Now is the best time to mess around and jump between.
Yeah, when you're young.
When you're young, when you don't have a job, you don't have.
I thought this was a great conversation.
Oh,
mostly because we can relate to it.
Oh, this is just an informant episode. I think that this processed a lot in my head. A lot of what we said here today was running through my head. Wow, this is pretty interesting. So, I think we definitely had a great conversation. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, actually, yeah. I mean, if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, check out virtualstudentexperiences.com because
the link will be in the description on YouTube.
They have interviews with different people and different career options, and you know, really, it's just students like asking questions to like actual people in the industry, and so I think that'll help people out.
Yeah, nope, it's a great resource if you guys are out there and wondering what you want to do, and if you are out there and you're listening to us and we have all these ideas and you don't, that's also fine. Definitely something to think about though. Like, think about what you like to do. Look online. There's tons of free online resources like the one Coco just brought up as well. Even if you're at school or out of school, go dabble into things. Take up opportunities to learn and broaden your telescope of what you like to do and what you might want to do.
And so, I mean, that brings up a thing that my dad says all the time, which is like, what would you do if you had like all the money you needed? Mm-hmm. And like, because once you take away the need for money, it's like, what do you actually like to do?
Yeah.
And then go do it, Yeah.
That's a great way to rethink that. And yeah, with that being said, I think that's the end of today's episode. This is our second released episode that we've done in person.
Yeah.
If you guys are enjoying these episodes, especially, it does take a little bit of an effort to arrange everyone's schedule and get the space available, which we're really excited about doing. So if you guys are enjoying these in-person episodes and what we're talking about, be sure to go everywhere, no matter where you are. If you're on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, go ahead and subscribe. Apple Podcasts, you can leave a 5-star review, 5 stars. That's amazing. We'd really appreciate that. Instagram is at FYPodcast_. Spotify, follow us. And here on YouTube, subscribe. I already said that. And yeah, also turn on those notifications if you guys want to get alerted when we release new episodes wherever you are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I know you're excited. I'm excited to see what's to come with this project. And with that being said, thanks for allowing us to fill you in, and we will see you in the next episode.